What's going on everyone and welcome back to the channel. We have new buffs on other old heroes and that's gonna be great. Let's talk about that in detail. But first, let's concentrate on the news. First of all, we have the new epic hero from the Wizard's Eye faction. We are missing some detail on his kit because he's gonna grant to himself two unique buffs, the Ice Crystal and the Snowflake, but nothing is written to say what is it gonna do. He can apply Tenacity down 1 only with the basic attack on a single enemy, but if he has the exclusive one, he can apply Tenacity down 2 instead. He can increase his own attack by 40% for 2 turns and increase the attack of all your heroes in the team by 20% for 2 turns with the first active skill, and on the ultimate he's gonna damage all enemies and inflict a freeze for 1 turn. He's gonna get an extra turn every time he's gonna cast the first active skill, and we know nothing about the other set because we don't know what is gonna grant Ice Crystal and Snowflake, so I can't determine if the hero is gonna be interesting or not. Then you have that banner, and inside of it you have the new limited hero, and I really do hope that you saved some Miracle Wish in the past, because at least if you have the first copy of her without any exclusive, she is gonna enhance by a lot the power of your team in every content in the game, PvP and PvE. So yeah, this is one of the best hero we have today in the game, and that's the support. She's gonna have a lot of speed if you have the exclusive one. You are gonna get some extra turn meter at the beginning of the fight and cast the ultimate directly, so your heroes are gonna have 30% more dot and direct damage, only thanks to that at the beginning of the wave because you have the exclusive one. Then the exclusive 2, she can lower the speed by 40% of all enemies, and if you have the exclusive 3 on her, she is gonna enhance a bit more the damage increase on your heroes. So this is a great hero. Then you have Faxian. He's good in PvP only. He is gonna increase a lot his turn meta at the beginning of the wave. He can increase the turn meta of your heroes, revive one hero, and deal high single target damage, and apply Resolute 2 on all your heroes, increasing their skill damage by 40%. Then you have Rister. Amazing to power up the hero with the highest amount of attack in your team. He's gonna share 33% of his own attack with that hero. He's gonna increase his turn meta if you have the exclusive one. He's gonna give 60% crit damage to that hero as well if you have the exclusive 2. He can lower the defense of enemies by 60% if you have the exclusive 3. And he's gonna provide an attack buff 40% to your heroes, and he can stun enemies as well on the ultimates, and the stun cannot be blocked, so that's a great hero as well. Then Moxie is a good damage dealer for PvP. She can get some extra turns every time she kills an enemy, but you need exclusives on her, so it's gonna work. And she has pretty nice AoE damage as well, and once she is transformed, she is immune to control debuffs. That's a good point for PvP as well. Dakota is mainly good for your poison team in the Wuthering Coast, and she deals nice single target damage if you are playing her in a poison team and if you were able to inflict a lot of poisons on the target. She can revive passively one hero per wave if you have the exclusive 2 on her. She can increase the speed by 40% on your heroes if you have the exclusive 1, and the attack by 40% if you have the exclusive 3. And then you have some epic heroes, but we don't care about them. Novenik is bad. Judge Lu can be interesting to lower the stance value of enemies in PvP, but nobody's gonna use him because outside of that he's not gonna do anything else. Then you have Luffy. He is good in early game to push the Tower of Mark, the blue one, and the Faction Abyss. And then we have Dekka, and yeah, we talked about Dekka. We don't know everything about the hero yet, so I don't know what to say about the hero. Maybe an average epic hero in my opinion. The hero of the April hero quest is gonna be Nidroll, so that's cool, one of the best bleeder in the game, so if you don't have him or if you like exclusives on him, it's gonna be perfect. They are gonna reopen the black market at the beginning of April for 1 week, so if you have a good budget and if you want to spend your red diamonds, then this is gonna be good for you. But remember that inside of it you have as well some free rewards, and for 1000 diamonds, I don't remember the reward it was, but it was a good reward in my opinion. I forgot. I know that I bought it for 1000 gems, but I don't remember what it was. Tell me in the comment below if you remember. Then they added two great features. They added an equipment preset function, so we are going to be able to set multiple plans and tap on change to equip the preset quickly on our heroes. So that's good, we are going to save some times, and if you have different gears, that's going to be great. And we have the quick equip button finally, so you are going to have some recommended equipment and artifacts for your heroes determined by the system, and just by clicking on a button, everything is going to be equipped directly, and that's great. And even me, I think I'm going to use that, because most of the time I'm switching my gear between heroes, and I have some heroes that are missing some piece of gear. So using that, maybe it's going to be great if it is accurate. So I love that function. Then we have other stuff. They are gonna add the last hero of the Elemental City. Is gonna be Dharma. So this Thursday, tomorrow, it's gonna be good to discover that new unit. In the Fair Arena, they are adding the new limited hero inside, and Ronai as well, and Joni. I didn't pay attention that Ronai wasn't in the Fair Arena yet. And then they adjusted the divisions in the Championship, the Legendary Division and the Ultimate Division. So the Legendary Division, you are going to be part of it if your server open time is between 7 and 12 months. So if you are below that, from 1 to 6 months, you are going to be in the Beginner Division, I guess. And for the Ultimate Division, all the servers above 12 months. In the Broken Land on the Ultimate Whale, now we are going to be able to see the lineup used by every player, and that's going to be cool to help us reaching a higher score. They are going to add a button in the War of Thrones to locate ourselves directly. It can be good to save some time. Adjusted the refresh countdown of the regression potion in the resource store to 1 week instead of 1 month, and that's really cool, especially if you are mid-game, because sometimes you want to regress one hero to try another one, etc. I remember me back in time, it was really painful. I spent so much money, to buy extra regression potion to progress in the faction abyss, or to complete some secret rooms in the Elemental City. I completed every content all the time in that Elemental City, but I spent so many regression potions. This is a great add in my opinion, because that one you can obtain it for free for 1000 diamonds. Added a screen shake option to the settings, open by default. Okay, why not? So now the screen is gonna shake. Okay, I'm gonna disable it and lower the difficulty in some space temples. So that's cool. And then you have some buffs on other heroes as well, and this is the good part of the patch note. You have Igor, you have Gunner, May, Horus, and Turf. So let's have a look to that together. I don't know if Igor is gonna be way better than before. They increased the damage he has on the basic attack from 140 at the maximum to 240, so 100% extra attack damage to a single enemy. But they changed the exclusive one. In fact, every turn when he was in the second form, he was immortal, and he was losing 20% of max HP. And if he was falling down below 20% of max HP at the start of his turn, he was going back in the first form. He's now gonna deduct only 15% of HP instead of 20, and he is gonna change his form back to the first one if he fall down below 15% HP instead of 20. And on the exclusive 2, he is gonna have not 20% but 30% damage increase when he is in the second form, and additionally he's gonna increase his direct damage by an extra 1% instead of 0.8% for every 1% max HP lost, up to 30% in total, but before it was 40%, so this is a nerf. But you are gonna get the 30% faster than before, a bit faster in my opinion. So whatever. There is Gunner then. On the basic attack, damage increase from 240% death damage to a single enemy to 400%, so that's way better, an extra 160% with a 70% chance instead of 60% before to inflict one burn to the enemy. So that's the basic attack. And then on the active skill, this is probably the ultimate. He's gonna remove all the shields of all enemies and deal 400% death damage to all enemies instead of 100%. So that's way better, an extra 300% death damage. This is great. I'm curious to know, but I'm gonna have to awaken him. And then you have May. She had a great potential, but it wasn't strong enough before. On the basic attack now, she's gonna deal 15% more damage for every debuff the target has, up to 60%. So that's only a bit more. I don't think it's gonna change anything to the hero, right? Then on the first active skill, 3 stages of damage to all enemies. Before it was 80%, now it's gonna be 150%, with a 60% chance to horrify them, which is 20% more than before as well. And then the chance is gonna be increased by 10% for every debuff the target has, up to 30% more. So in fact, you are gonna have between 60 and 90% chance to horrify all the targets for 1 turn. Which is better than before, because you had up to 80% chance before. And you needed 4 layers of debuffs on enemies to have the 80%. And there you are gonna need 3 only. So that's way better, and you are gonna have a better chance to horrify them. So that's cool. Then on the passive, she's gonna deal an extra 30% attack damage to all enemies with debuffs at the end of her own turn. So that's a bit better, but just a bit better. But remember that she has some piercing rate. So maybe with the right heroes in the team, and maybe with the new one that is increasing her piercing rate by 40% after the first active skill. I mean, I'm talking about Beatrix. Maybe she's gonna start dealing interesting damage. We have to try that. And on the ultimate now, instead of 240%, she's gonna have a 390% attack damage to all enemies and 90% chance to reduce their attack by 40% for 2 turns instead of 75% chance. So this is not gonna change many things in my opinion, but she has some piercing rate, so maybe it can change something. I wanna try that. Then you have Horus. On the basic attack, he has an extra 190% attack damage on a single enemy. On the first active skill, same stages of damage, but double the damage. And that's interesting, because that's 3 stages of damage, so before he was inflicting up to 270% attack damage to all enemies. And now he can inflict up to 540% instead. So the increase is huge there. And then with the passive, he's gonna have way more crit damage. He was getting 48% before when he was above 50% HP, now 75% instead, which is way better. So maybe with that buff and that one, he's gonna start dealing high damage, who knows? And 40% increase if he fall down below 50% instead of 24%. So all the time, in fact, he is gonna have almost the same crit damage increase as before. But if he is above 50%, he's gonna have way more damage than before. So maybe he's gonna be great now. And then you have the ultimate. Single target attack, before 700% attack damage to a single enemy, and now 900%, so 200% more damage on a single target with a severe one for 2 turns, so this is great. And depending on the remaining HP of the target, you are gonna increase the damage up to 1450% attack damage. So that's great in my opinion to deal high damage to a single target. So Horus is getting a good buff, and I love that. I want to try that now. Oh, and my bad, there is one exclusive on him. If the target is below 50% HP, he's gonna deal an extra 100% damage instead of 60% before. So even more damage on that active skill, and that's good. So he's gonna have a good AoE skill damage and a great single target attack on the ultimates. So that's gonna be a good hero in my opinion after the buff. And then we are gonna have Turf. 20% more attack damage on the single target with the basic attack and 30% more chance to inflict a poison. And that's great because remember, he can apply a counter attack on himself, and so he's gonna have more chance to land poisons on enemies. And I love that, so that's a good one in my opinion already. Then he's gonna have 20% more direct damage on targets under poison status. He had 50% before, now 70%. And he has 40% more chance to inflict a poison on the attacker for 2 turns when he takes direct damage. So that's great as well. On the ultimate, 3 stages of 180% attack damage instead of 160%, so a total of 60% more damage to a single target. So that's clearly not a huge buff. And thanks to the exclusive 3, he's gonna increase the damage of the poison layers by 20% instead of 10% when he attacks targets under poison status up to 100%. So you are gonna have the 100% faster than before. So I think this is a decent buff. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. Let me know what you think about all the heroes, all the buffs. I think in my opinion that Horus took the biggest buff, but we are gonna have to try everything tomorrow or later because yeah, this is a lot of heroes and I don't have the resources to build all of them yet. So in the future, over time, I'm gonna make some videos talking about them in detail. I still have to do a video on Lust, but I'm lacking some exclusive on Aisha as well, on Claude. So yeah, this is taking a lot of time. So guys, that was all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Have a nice day and see you in the next one. Bye bye.